Senior Moments, sponsored by the Empowering Seniors Group on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Senior Moment Show. My name is Bryce Patton, here with the wonderful Sid Roeder, my co-host. How are you today, Sid?
Wonderful. If you call me wonderful, I'm doing wonderful.
That's excellent. Good. I'm so glad I get to set the tone for the day.
Yes.
Well, we have a fun show, and one that I think I'm really going to need this summer hecticness that's going on right now. I think we're going to need it. But before we get into that, let's talk about our sponsor, the Empowering Seniors Group.
Exactly. Our sponsor is the Empowering Seniors Group, and our guest today is a member of our group. It is a group of professionals that has dedicated their time and effort to provide information to seniors, their family members, caretakers, and really all of those wonderful people that listen to us every Saturday morning. If you'd like to learn more about the Empowering Seniors Group, you can do so online at empoweringseniors.info, or you can email us at empoweringseniorscv@gmail.com, and the CV stands for Cache Valley. And lastly, if you have any suggestions for us, anyone you would like to see us invite, you can reach me personally at 435-512-6406.
Oh, thank you for doing that. Well, like we said, we have one of our members from the Empowering Seniors Group with us today, Heidi Stimson from Next Level Health and Wellness. Welcome to the show, Heidi.
Thank you. Excited to be here today.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear how we've had a really good conversation before that we all started. But before we get into what we want to talk about, do you want to tell everybody again what your company is, what you do, and how you can help people out?
Yeah, so I am in North Logan. It's Next Level Health and Wellness, located just next to the North Walmart at 187 East, 1600 North. And I do functional nutrition, and that can be pretty broad, but a lot of my clients are in that age range of, moving into senior ages and really want to focus on health. And so what I do is meet people where they are and figure out their health goals and, what that looks like for them, healthy aging, I guess.
Well, that actually kind of brings me up to my first question, though. How, if somebody hears this and wonders, well, what does that actually mean? What's the process? If someone calls you and says, okay, I'm trying to get healthier, this is where I'm at, what happens next?
I love to do an introductory call so I can really figure out if it's something that is going to benefit you and that I have something that, you're looking for first. And in that, I like to kind of get your story, like your health history, what you're feeling, your symptoms. We decide from there if blood work would be efficient or useful, if other types of testing would be useful. And it usually is. I love looking at matching symptoms to blood work, and then we write a plan, and I have packages and programs or just a one-time consultation that you can take and run with yourself. I do a pretty detailed wellness plan.
So this is more of an individualized, holistic approach, because I remember I've seen your intake form, and it's very detailed on your lifestyle, emotional, mental health, et cetera, et cetera. So you have a very holistic approach on finding reasons for things. It's not like you're going to stick a Band-Aid of supplements or things on someone to, yeah.
No, definitely not a Band-Aid approach, and sometimes that can sound overwhelming, but we do take baby steps if someone needs, or giant leaps if someone needs. But it is functional medicine is holistic, just like you said. It's whole person care. We're looking at what's going on in your life with stress, with relationships, with your mental and emotional health. All of those things impact our physical health. So our physiology is influenced by mental health, emotional health, our relationships. Those things matter so much to our physical health, which is why I like to get into the story. What were you experiencing when you first started noticing these symptoms? What were you experiencing when your health started to decline? And it's crazy, but most of the time it's like, oh, I was going through a divorce. I was going through this. And it's like, hey, are you getting the support there? Because that matters. But that's why the intake is so in-depth, because I need to know what in your environment is influencing your physical health and if we can impact that.
So how long, I guess this is going to be a two-part question, but how long is that usually initial consult? And then how often do you usually meet with people after that? So
the initial consult, I tell people plan 90 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Because we go quite in depth. We've typically done an introductory call, but that's 15 to 20 minutes where I'm listening and kind of getting your story. But when we do the blood work and I get the intake form that's pretty in depth, I go through all of that and outline it. And as I'm putting it together, I can almost start to see this puzzle. Like, it's very individual, because I'm like, I know what's going on for this person. It's like putting a puzzle together. Not that anyone wants to feel like a puzzle, but it, remind me the question.
Well, and then how often do you usually see
90 minutes.
someone?
Yes.
What about after that? Right? What does that look like? Is this like an ongoing, I need to plan on being on this for a year, or hey, you know what? After a couple months, I'm good. I think I can take this. Does it matter? That's
pretty individual too. Like, I've met with clients who, we go into, I'll ask more questions, more in depth to clarify things on the intake in that initial consult and really dig in. But some people are like, tell me what to do and I can do it. And they can take that plan and run on their own. And then I suggest, follow-ups. If after a month you're not feeling better, come back in. Let's figure out what we can adjust. When somebody's doing a packaged program, I have anywhere from like 6 to 8 weeks working together, because we're working through like maybe bringing inflammation down in the body. And so we're watching those things and symptoms, and they want to work together through that. It can feel complicated. So we're there to support you. And follow-ups are 1 to 2 weeks in that case. And some people are like, I want to work together for 5 to 6 months because I want to make a lifestyle change and I need that support. And evidence does show that when you have a health coach or somebody that you're following up with, that you're more successful. It's somewhere like 90-something% more successful when you're working with somebody consistently.
For sure. And just from my own experience, I'll out myself that I've worked with Heidi successfully. And the program gets adapted over time because as you change, Heidi's really good at making little course correction if necessary. But we are at our first break here, so I don't even have time to mention our Empowering Seniors group anymore. We're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Need a helping hand? The Bear River Association of Governments, also known as BRAG, is here for you.
They assist seniors with in-home services, provide utility bill relief through the HEAT program, and offer rental assistance to keep you housed.
Need help with tax prep? Their experts ensure you get the refund you deserve. And for veterans, they're here to connect you with the benefits you've earned.
BRAG is your local resource for a stronger today and a more secure future. Call today or visit brag.utah.gov. Are you tired of feeling unwell and not knowing why? At Next Level Health and Wellness, we hear you. We specialize in uncovering the root causes of your discomfort, whether it's gut health, hormone imbalances, or emotional and mental blocks. With personalized plans, advanced lab testing, and evidence-based holistic nutrition practices, we guide you toward lasting health and wholeness. Awaken your healing potential with a team that listens, understands, and supports you wherever you are. Visit nextlevelhw.com to start your journey to feeling better today.
Hi, this is Bruce with Comfort Care. One of the ways we help loved ones stay in their home is by assisting with daily tasks. These may include bathing, meal preparation, medication reminders, and housekeeping. We even help with shopping, transportation, and errands. Most of all, we offer a trusted level of care. Let us help you live your best life possible with Comfort Care. This is Bruce, and you can call me at 754-7676. Comfort Care, 754-7676.
Hi, this is Tyler. Recently, my father passed away, and White Pine provided the funeral services for our family. They were friendly, thoughtful, and attentive to every detail. It isn't often that a loved one passes away, so it was very important to my family that everything be handled just right. Because my dad was loved by so many people, we had a lot of family and friends that traveled from out of town. I really appreciate how White Pine Funeral Services made sure everyone was comfortable and that the focus was where it needed to be, on my dad and my family. They really took care of us during this tender time.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
Did you know 1 in 3 people will visit a nursing home? Did you know that once there, they will stay there for an average of 3 years? Did you also know there are insurance options that can help cover this experience? Hi, I'm Tracy Ferris with Blue Water Health Insurance. It's not cheap to stay in a full-fledged nursing home. Long-term care insurance can help you or a loved one get the care they need and deserve. If you wait until you need it, you may be too late. Give me a call at 435-890-8155.
And welcome back to the Senior Moments Show. My name is Bryce Patton here with Sid Roeder, and we've been talking with Heidi Stimson from Next Level Health and Wellness all about your programs and how the food and everything really affects your whole life, and other things affect it, not just one certain thing, and how you have to look at it as a whole. If anyone has questions or want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to maybe set up an appointment or a consultation?
So you can actually schedule that free introductory call from my website. If you go there, there's several places you can click to find that link to just set up an appointment to have that one-time call first. And so my website is www.nextlevelhw, all one word, no dashes.com.
Awesome.
And so that's probably the easiest way. I mean, you can email me. My email's on there. My contact information, everything's on the website. So that's probably the easiest.
That's fantastic. So before the break, we had been talking about, the length and the different programs that you have. Do you have any good stories or anything to illustrate what some of that process looks like and the results that people might expect?
Yeah. So I would say a lot of people come in because like a buzzword right now is inflammation or cortisol, things like that. So I have a lot of people come in, want those things tested and looked at. If we're working on inflammation, we want to retest those markers over time to make sure what we're doing is working for you. So I've had a client who came in, and when we drew their blood work, they were coming in for type 2 diabetes. I want to work on my blood sugar, figure out lifestyle changes with that. There was a lot of inflammation in their body, really high. And that can influence blood sugar. It influences cortisol, all of those things. So over time, they were surprised. It's like, come in for one thing, let's work on blood sugar, show me diet and lifestyle tips for that. But biggest thing going on in their body was the inflammation. And so we worked on that first. But when we redrew labs at 3 months, the inflammation had come down and their blood sugar markers, the A1C, had come down as well. So we may do an anti-inflammatory diet, but it's helping with things like blood sugar and other things like that. And sometimes people don't know what's going on in their body, that even what inflammation is and how that's influencing everything. So this client found out there was more going on, and just after 6 to 8 weeks of the anti-inflammatory process, they felt so much better. We reran the markers and inflammation was gone, and then we could just focus on okay, here's what lifestyle looks like.
Do you find that often, Heidi, that people come in and the route then goes all over the place and has to be dealt with in a changing manner? Yes, there is. Sometimes, like I said, it can be a puzzle, like what is going on for this person and what is causing these symptoms, and there can be a lot going on. And I've seen in other practices like, oh, we'll give you a supplement for this and a supplement for this and a supplement for this marker. And a lot of times when we just work on, like I said, one thing, the inflammation, let's see what this does. We're not going to throw 100 supplements at your symptoms. Nobody wants to take a handful of supplements
or a handful of pharmaceuticals. Now, I'm all for supplements and I use them in my practice, but it is not a supplement for every symptom. It's like, oh, this is the biggest thing. And that's what that process does is I read your symptoms and the intake form and what stress is going on in your life and all of those things kind of narrows things down to like, this is the biggest thing going on in your body. And we start there. And then rerunning the labs after time, it's like, okay, that's resolved. Now we need to focus on this. So it is a very individualized process that, the follow-ups and stuff matter in a case like that.
Now, do you find as you're going through this as well that people change? Because it's season, right? It's summertime right now. Everyone's eating watermelons and having barbecues and things like that. Do you find it hard to keep on that regimen during the different seasons of the year?
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, right now it's like soccer games and traveling and camping and summer vacations and all of that. And people are like, how do I stay consistent? You can, but I would simplify as much as possible in those seasons of your life. I was telling you before, I worked with a lot of teachers, and a lot of times they get to the end of the school year and they're like, okay, summer, I'm all in. Like I'm so busy right now. And then 2 weeks into summer, they're like, just kidding, I'm still busy. How is this going to work? So in those cases, it really is like, just let's make simple changes. There are some really simple things that you can do that really affect health outcomes, like fiber. Paying attention to like 2 things in your diet instead of like, oh my gosh, I've got to track my macros and my calories and all of these things. And that is an additional stressor. And there's a time and a place for that. And definitely health goals matter in that case. But for most of us, it's like, how can we simplify? And so I focus on, 1 to 3 things that I can do this every single day and feel good about my health.
Do you find that your clients find their own individual different pathways? Because I know what was really good for me was just having the food lists and then in my head putting something together. And I know other people maybe are more recipe driven and need to find something that sounds good to them. How does that work?
Yeah, that's individual too. And people are... Your intuition is a huge part of this process, and that's why I take 90 minutes in that initial consultation, because I need to get to know what your needs are, what your intuition is saying that you need. But then I have, resources, meal planning software, simple lists of, high protein foods, easy protein snacks, high fiber foods, things like that. So very individual. Some people want a meal plan, some people want food lists, and that's, depends on the person.
If someone's thinking right now, hey, you know what, I'm pretty independent and I would like to just understand what maybe these lists are or some of your suggestions, is there a place they could go and find a list of your suggestions?
Yeah, I don't have anything right now on my website, but I'm happy to send anyone those lists if you would like, easy protein snacks, especially traveling, soccer games, people dealing with that, high fiber foods. Those things are really important aspects in our diet. If you go to my website, get my email, or it's heidi@nextlevel.hw.com, I'll send you those lists. They're simple, easy things you can do.
Wonderful. We're coming up on our second break already, and let me talk about our sponsor really quick, which is the Empowering Seniors Group, which Heidi Stimpson is a member of. If you'd like to find more information on the Empowering Seniors Group, you can do so at empoweringseniors.info. We're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's tough knowing how to care for an aging parent. Mom has always been there for me, but now I need to be there for her. When we found out she needed surgery, I wondered how I could attend to her needs and still be mom to my kids. I was so relieved to learn about transitional rehab at Maple Springs in North Logan. From the nurses to the physical therapists, it was like their whole staff was focused on helping Mom get better. Maple Springs in North Logan was an answer to my prayers.
Learn more at maplespringsnorthlogan.com or call 753-9400.
Are you tired of feeling unwell and not knowing why? At Next Level Health and Wellness, we hear you. We specialize in uncovering the root causes of your discomfort, whether it's gut health, hormone imbalances, or emotional and mental blocks. With personalized plans, advanced lab testing, and evidence-based holistic nutrition practices, we guide you toward lasting health and wholeness. Awaken your healing potential with a team that listens, understands, and supports you wherever you are. Visit nextlevelhw.com to start your journey to feeling better today.
You have a lot of options when it comes to buying or selling a home. Do you list it online, sell it yourself, or do you have a realtor help? It's a major financial and emotional decision. A realtor is the liaison between buyers and sellers and really helps you navigate complex contracts, deadlines, and disclosures.
Hi, this is Sid Roeder with Achievement Realty.
I work for you to get the best outcome for your situation. Let me earn your trust with a free consultation and a free market analysis. Call me today at 512-6406. Then list it, sell it, and move on.
This is Scott with Cache Valley Pharmacy. Are you struggling to find affordable GLP-1 medications? Cache Valley Pharmacy has you covered. We're now compounding GLP-1s like semaglutide and tirzepatide personally formulated for you, and every batch is tested for quality and sterility. Have your prescriptions transferred today and let Cache Valley Pharmacy help you with your personalized weight loss journey. Cache Valley Pharmacy, keeping it local, online at cachevalleypharmacy.com.
Getting around your home should be easy and safe. At RT Med Mobile, they provide wheelchairs, stair lifts, ramps, and electric lift chairs to help seniors maintain independence and comfort. Their friendly team offers free in-home consultations to find the perfect solution for you or your loved one. Locally owned and here to help, call 435-260-6171 today. RT Med Mobile, because your mobility matters.
And welcome back to the Senior Moment Show. My name is Bryce Patton, here with Sid Roeder, and we're here with Heidi Stimson from Next Level Health and Wellness. And Heidi, you were telling us that you have a list of some of those easy things with summer being crazy. I mean, I'm in the heat of it with, 4 kids running around doing all sorts of soccer tournaments and different things. What are some of those quick and easy healthy foods that you suggest? Maybe throw out some proteins and maybe some fiber things that could help me out so I'm not just eating Snickers all day.
Yeah, I would say use summer's abundance to your advantage. Finding, I have food lists too of rainbow foods. And what I like to do with kids or people who are like, my kids won't ever eat like this, I give them these lists and say, first of all, make it fun. Take this to your kids and say, I want you to pick something to try from each color of these rainbow foods. So it's teaching your kids to eat from the rainbow, and there's health benefits for every color. But load up on berries and tomatoes and cucumbers and zucchini, all of those things that are so abundant right now. Making platters, I like to have, I don't have young kids anymore, but some of the things that I would do is always have chopped, easy to grab vegetables in the fridge. People will agree or disagree, but if they need dips and they're eating their vegetables and getting their fiber, let them dip it in ranch, Making platters, so my cheese trays and things like that with the grapes and the cheeses and the meats and things that are, again, easy for them to open the fridge and grab or to grab and run to a soccer game. Fruits and greens and all of the abundance, take advantage of that. When you do those platters, you're getting protein, you're getting the fruit with the fiber, and also the good gut benefits that you get from eating plant foods.
And this actually drives me back a little bit to what Bryce brought up before with going camping and s'mores and barbecue. What are some good tips you have to maybe, even with a barbecue, to keep your protein more pure than smearing some sugar stuff on there?
As far as how to cook it?
Yeah, I mean, maybe as everybody else is having their barbecued stuff with barbecue sauce that's got high sugar content. I mean, what do you recommend? I mean,
finding good seasonings that you love. Herbs right now too are abundant. Your savory herbs and spices, using those things highlight our taste buds and activate neural pathways in the brain that improve satiety. So finding good spices that aren't loaded with the sugar and the artificial ingredients I like a good rub on, or, seasonings like that on my summer meats versus the saucy dipped barbecue stuff. But it is a preference, and I don't like to get too big into food rules, because then I can't do this and I shouldn't do that. And just keeping it simple can be the best thing for you, especially in the summer.
So you've been talking about, hey, there's a lot in this season and different things. Is there something to eating seasonal food that does stuff to your body as well?
Yeah, so eating in season, your foods are more nutrient dense, especially if you're buying from around here. And when compared, because we're worried about herbicides and pesticides and all of that on our foods, but washing it, of course, is important. But they've found even when it's not organically grown, eating seasonal, buying from farmers markets around here and things grown in our own community, they're more nutrient dense. And so there's those benefits, is you're getting more vitamins and minerals from those foods that are fresh, that are grown to ripe instead of picked early. And when you eat those foods, you're getting the nutrient density that you don't get when it's transferred from another country. But also, like in Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine, they talk about seasonal eating, and summer is about joy and fire. So we need foods that cool us. That's why we have more melons and the herbs and spices and things like that. They're about cooling the body. Think of watermelon is full of water, so it hydrates and it cools us down. So focusing on those foods that are abundant right now, berries even, definitely benefits our health when we eat seasonally.
I'm going to sideline a little bit on the washing here, because I just found out that, especially berries, that it is good to wash them in. I heard about a water vinegar solution, a little bit of baking soda. Can you second that?
Yes, absolutely. Wash your vegetables. There's a lot of ways to do that. It does reduce pesticide exposure, but if I can throw in a little clip here, a recent study just showed that, when exposed to the same amount of pesticides, the higher the fiber intake, the lower amount of pesticides that came out in the urine test. So yes, it's so important that we avoid as much as possible the toxins that go into our body, but when we increase our fiber intake, it can mitigate so many of the negative effects. But back to washing, for sure, wash your fruits and vegetables. There are different washes. That's another thing I can email if somebody wants to reach out and get that list, because there's even been tests on what's the best wash for apples and berries. And so
oh, wow. I'm going to have to get that from you. But sadly, we are at the end of our show already. Thank you, Heidi, for sharing all that wisdom. And if somebody wants to get in touch with you, I hope we mention the phone number often enough. This is the Senior Moment Show, and we hope you tune in again next week.